as we did so, we heard explosions from outside. They sounded to me like interceptor rockets going off rather than incoming missiles, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I suspect, though I'm not really in a position to be definitive about this
Yes.
from my current position, that those incoming missiles are still on their way, or at least some of them are. So we, as you just heard, this is ongoing, and whether these rockets get through the Iron Dome, Israel's defense system, is going to be a very important issue for all of us in the coming minutes.
We're going to cross now live to Richard Spencer, who's on the line from Tel Aviv. Richard, hello and welcome to you.
Hello.
So, Edmund, our colleague there, telling us of reports of hundreds of missiles having been launched, of explosions in Tel Aviv where you are. What more can you tell us, Richard?
Yeah, well, I hope I can tell you something. I just had to run downstairs from my hotel after the sirens went off. We've been warned about this barrage being prepared. It was unclear whether it was really going to happen. And I'm now in the basement shelter of my hotel. You can probably hear the background noise is all the other people from the hotel that are also here. We've just run down the stairs, and as we did so, we heard explosions from outside. They sounded to me like interceptor rockets going off rather than incoming missiles, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I suspect, though I'm not really in a position to be definitive about this
Yes.
from my current position, that those incoming missiles are still on their way, or at least some of them are. So we, as you just heard, this is ongoing, and whether these rockets get through the Iron Dome, Israel's defense system, is going to be a very important issue for all of us in the coming minutes.
Right. Well, we do hope, Richard, it goes without saying, I hope, we do hope that you can manage to stay safe while this barrage, and I guess we can call it a barrage, continues. And while you can still talk to us, I know you're in the process of finding a place of safety, but while you are doing that, when you heard the news of a suspected missile attack into Israel from Iran, and now that is happening around you, what were your immediate thoughts? Did you think this did then very likely lead to a massive escalation, or was it all about the scale of what's coming?
To me, I have to say, and there is a time when you will be proved wrong saying this, because we say it time and time again. Israel is concerned to save face. It is not. It does not want a full-on war with Israel. I don't think that has changed. I don't think that Iran, I think especially now that Israel has shown itself so capable against its, Iran's premier ally in the region, which is Hezbollah, proxy, if you like. Some would say even arm of the Iranian military, Hezbollah. Now that Israel has shown what it can do, does Iran really want to take on Israel and provoke a full-on confrontation? The conventional thinking is no, for good reason. So my thought is always, in the first instance, this is for show, partly because, of course, as we all know, Israel does have this incredible missile shield around Tel Aviv, which it knows is always going to be the first target. So yes, that's my first thought, but there will be a time, perhaps one day, when I am proved wrong. So
yes.
I don't think, who knows?
Well, indeed. I mean, you are the second expert to tell us on this program. And by the way, Richard, if you have to leave us at very short notice, of course we understand that. While you can talk to us, we're grateful to have you here. The assumption then that Iran does not want a massive escalation. This may be, I don't know, a pretty dangerous and deadly gesture, but a gesture nonetheless. What about on the Israeli side? Is there, in the Israeli leadership, any kind of hawkish instinct that would wish to see an escalation against Iran?
Yes, I think so. I mean, there are. Israel is a very, is not a society. It's also got a very broad-based government. Remember, it's got a broad coalition led by Netanyahu of his own Likud party and several very far-right parties, some of whom are itching for some sort of climactic end battle. Whether it's against Palestinian groups or indeed Iran itself. But it also, of course, has more dovish elements, including former military officers in that coalition who have not shown themselves so willing to take on Iran. They're much more focused on immediate military threats like Hezbollah. So again, we think that Israel is prepared for a war with Iran. I mean, it always has contingency plans. It's proved reluctant to even indicate to America that it would be prepared to go it alone in that instance without American cover. You hear very bullish comments from Netanyahu and other Israeli ministers saying, we'll do it with you or without you on other fronts. Occasionally, Netanyahu will say we may have to take action against Iran on our own if nobody else will help us. Yes. But he's much less confident about doing so.
Yeah, I just want to put another question to you, and it may seem odd to you to be questioned in this way about diplomacy while you're seeking shelter in a stairwell in Tel Aviv. But if you're able to address this, Israel, they will be looking to the United States for protection and cover at a time like this. Does that give Washington more purchase with Israel? Because America's voice hasn't always been heard very carefully or heeded, has it?
Yeah, I mean, good question. You'd have thought so, but I would say no. I actually think it gives it less, gives Israel less cover. So it gives Israel more cover, if you like. When Israel is being attacked by Iran, the American establishment has a tendency to gather around Israel with a sort of, my friend, right or wrong. It is only when there is peace on the table that you hear these voices from America saying now is the time to do peace.
Yes.
When Israel is being attacked by Iran, you tend to the voices saying we must defend Israel, whatever the cost, whatever the political cost, tend to get louder. So that's that's how I see things. I'm not an expert on American politics, I have to say, particularly at this extraordinary time when we are within just over a month of an election.
All right, Richard, really grateful for your taking the time and trouble to talk to us from Tel Aviv. Hopefully we can keep in touch in the near future about how this unfolds.